Hello students and welcome to the English class. Today I will be explaining you the third part of prose Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. So let's read from page number 21. So here we start with the last para. In life, every man has twin obligations. Obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children. And he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country. In a civil and humane society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart, a twilight existence of secrecy and rebellion. I did not in the beginning choose to place my people above my family, but in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. So, dear students, now here Nelson Mandela is sharing a personal experience of his life where when Nelson Mandela felt certain changes in himself, and so he says that every human being has got certain responsibility towards the family and as well as towards the society. But and generally what happened that under normal circumstances a person is able to maintain the balance between the two, but in a country like South Africa it was never so easy. When a in South Africa, when a person of black color, when he would come up for his society, then he would be arrested and taken away from his family. So thus they were not allowed to fulfill the responsibilities both of family as well as for the societies. And then he says that in the beginning Mandela thought not to put his people over his family, but it was only later when he realized that in order to be there for his people, means for the society, he was compromising his duties towards his own family. Okay, so let's read further now. Further in the next paragraph, I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free, free in every way that I could know. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village, free to roast mealies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow moving bulls. As long as I obeyed my father and abided by the customs of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion, when I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it. At first, as a student, I wanted freedom only for myself, the transitory freedoms of being able to stay out of night, read what I pleased, and go where I chose. Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, I yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential, of earning my keep, of marrying and having a family, the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life. So now here Nelson Mandela says that he did not have any plan to stand against any apartheid system earlier when he was young. Okay, he used to live his childhood just like any other normal child in South Africa. Okay, he only had to follow the rules which was set by his father or the customs of his own tribe, of his own community. As soon as he grew up and when he began to learn the facts as to how people of color were treated, then he decided to stand against it. Okay, and he had this urge for freedom from inside. Earlier just he wanted to have freedom for himself, that was for example staying out at night, but later on for having a basic life not just for himself, but he wanted to have a basic life for everyone. Okay, means earlier he just wanted freedom for himself because he was unaware that all the people of his tribe were restricted. Okay, they were dominated and discriminated. But when he understood this fact, then he had this urge, then he wanted that freedom to be given to all the people, not only him but all the people of his tribe. And in Johannesburg they had to struggle for having a peaceful marriage or family and basic amenities which everyone has access to, where law and order exist, but they were not allowed. Let's move to the next paragraph. But then I slowly saw that not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. I saw that it was not just my freedom which that was curtailed, but the freedom of everyone who looked like I did. That is when I joined the African National Congress, and that is when the hunger for my own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom of my people. It was this desire for freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self respect that animated my life, that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one, that drove a law abiding attorney to become a criminal, that turned a family loving husband into a man without a home, that forced a life loving man to live like a monk. So, in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela says that he joined the African National Congress when he realized that it was not only him whose basic rights were snatched, okay, but all of those who looked like him were not given this freedom. So he had this fire inside him to free his people from the injustice. Okay, and it was this fire that changed Nelson Mandela completely as a man. Okay, from being scared to be brave, a lawyer to the one breaking the law, a family man to a man without home, and a lively man into being a monk. So these all were the changes which came in Nelson Mandela's life when he started fighting against the discrimination done to the blacks. Okay, then in the further lines, he has written that I am no more virtuous or self sacrificing than the next man, but I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. Now, here he says that he is not any special person, nor does he has any qualities, and also it is nothing like he is more sacrificing than the other common man. But when he realized that his people were not free, that means his community, the community of blacks were not free, then he was also not able to enjoy his poor and limited freedoms which he had at that time. Okay, now let's read the further statements. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. Now, here he says that freedom is indivisible. He feels that if chains are put on any one of his people, of his community, then chains were also imposed on him. Okay, now chains here means the restrictions imposed on anyone. So he used to feel that if anyone from his community was not free, then he was also not free. He wanted to give freedom to everybody in his community. He felt so much for his community that he started the struggle for the freedom. Moving ahead to the last paragraph, here he has written, I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow mindedness. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom. Just as surely as I am not free when my freedom is taken from me. The oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity. Now, the summary of this paragraph is that the oppressor must be liberated as well as the oppressed. Now, before understanding this, let's understand the meaning of oppressor and oppressed ones. Now, here, oppressor is one who restricts somebody's freedom. Like here, whites were the oppressors as they used to oppress the blacks. And oppressed means the one on whom restrictions are imposed. Like on the blacks, restrictions were imposed by the whites. They were not allowed to get the freedom what the whites were having at that time. So Mandela says that the person on whom restrictions are imposed must be set free, and also at the same time the one who imposes restrictions on the others should also be liberated. Now here liberated means to set them free. Okay, so he says that the oppressor and the oppressed both should be liberated. Now oppressor, why they should be liberated? Because they are also somewhere restricted. He says that the one who oppresses other, now means here the whites, we are referring to the whites because they were oppressing the blacks. So they were also the prisoners of hatred. Okay, they have so much hatred in their heart that they dislike others without any reason and were narrow minded. So they should also be made free from this hatred so that they stop oppressing the other people. Now here Mandela says that if we take away someone else's freedom, then we are also not free. Okay, just as if somebody else takes away our freedom, then we are also not free. So by saying this, he means that both oppressed and the oppressor are equally robbed of their humanity, means they are not human. Okay, both the groups, now yeah, like whites were also not human as they were taking away freedoms of blacks, and blacks were also not human as their freedom was taken away. So somewhere Mandela portrays a very deeper meaning by giving a message that if you take away somebody's freedom, then you are also not free and you are trapped in hatred, in the feeling of hatred. So that's why you keep on oppressing others. I hope you like this video and you have understood this chapter. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any queries, please feel free to write in the comments section. Thank you.